Good morning and welcome to your all levels yin class designed specifically for women in midlife. Excuse me. Go ahead and grab, if you don't have yoga props, that's okay. You can grab a couple of blankets, should be all you really need for today's practice, and I'll show you how to use them. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start by bending the knees and rolling the body down onto the back. And in doing that, you won't need any props at all at this point in time, unless you'd like to maybe have your blankets on each side of your space so that you can let them hold your leg when you take spinal rotation. So we'll bend the knees, roll down, take a little shift and wiggle through your hips, through your shoulders, and allow your body to settle. Take this moment to feel the soles of your feet. Notice your arms, your hands. Feel the back of your hips, shoulder blades, the back of your head. Take a large breath in. And as you exhale, sigh it away and let the body surrender down. Guide one or both hands over heart and remind yourself, I am safe. I am okay. I am loved. And set your intention to keep your mind or to guide your mind back into this stillness with your physical body when it wanders, and to do so gently and graciously. And then when you are ready, inhale, guide right knee into your chest, give it a good squeeze, maybe a little movement in your ankle, wiggle your toes. And we're going to ease our hips over to the right a little bit and lower the right leg toward the left. So this is where you might like that blanket. You can fold it or roll it as thick as you might like for the leg to make a connection to, or you can just take this spinal rotation without it. Maybe the foot rests on the inside of the left leg or just down on the floor, whatever feels right for you. And this might be all you would like today is a spinal rotation. But if you would like to add a quad stretch for the left leg and into this hip flexor and this low side of the belly and into the hip, then you can add cat pulling its tail. So you simply take the right hand to the left foot and then let that left leg soften back down. Shoulder blades are down and head can stay center or turn right. Slow, steady breaths. If you don't have a couple blankets nearby, you could always make do with some pillows, cushions, if you do have yoga props, bolsters, blocks, things of that nature. Anything that allows you to feel supported and to release as much of the muscle engagement as possible. Now, holding the foot with the hand, that's going to require muscle engagement, but hopefully your top leg and hip are at ease. 3 more breaths here. In a 60-minute yin class, we would hold longer, but with this being a brief 30 minutes, we're not as long in the poses. And then we'll bring the head back to center. If you are holding the left foot, let it release. Draw navel towards spine and ease your right leg back over. You can press into that left hip to, or left foot to lift your hips and ease back. Hug the right leg in, take any more movement you might like here, and then set the foot. And then we'll move over to the second side. So if you know you're going to want a prop, go ahead and have it ready. Hug the left leg in, maybe move through your left ankle and wiggle the toes. And as you exhale, lower left leg toward the right. So this again, you might need a little more props here. I think I'm going to double up and take it really easy today. Shimmy the shoulders down. And then if you want to add the quad stretch, then you'll simply slide the left hand to the right foot. If it doesn't connect and you happen to have a yoga strap, you are welcome to use that here if you have that experience. If not, we're not going into that today. We'll just enjoy a spinal rotation. Slow, deep breaths. Three more breaths. Slow and steady, no rush. And then we'll release the foot if we're holding it. Inhale, head to center. Ease your leg back over. Level out your hips, hug your knees in. Maybe pedal out your ankles. Swish them side to side. And then we'll ease the body over to a side and slowly make our way up. So our focus today is on the lungs and the heart so that we can really create some fresh energy flow as we are in the cooler season of fall now, and we just want to keep everything going well. So we're going into Sphinx and heart melting. So with Sphinx and with heart melting, you can use your blanket or blankets to bring the floor up to you. We'll start with our Sphinx pose. Actually, let's start with heart melting. And so let me show you a couple of quick ways you can use your blankets. So you could just fold it in any which way that creates thickness for you if that's what you would like. But if you want to come into more of a roll, then you want to bring it into a narrow fold first, something like this. I like to start at the end that might have tassels or a seam and roll that to the inside so that it's not a distraction for me. And then you can roll it up all the way nice and tight, or you can do a partial roll, leaving some of it out, just finding what feels like the right thickness for you. And our little Miss Phoebe here is very interested in being on the mat today. Let me just open this blanket over here and encourage her to take a new spot. Come here, love. You can rest right there. There you go. All right, so we're coming all the way down for Sphinx to begin with. And might need to just kind of give your roll there a little press to level it out. And we'll come down onto the forearms. And we want that roll or that prop, whatever you're using, to be in a comfortable place for you. So you adjust. I like to take it more on the lower ribs. You could take it up under the arms. I have used bolsters like right under the underarms before. So you do what feels right for you. And then have our hands down, which you can't really see, but palms are down. Elbows are under the shoulders.
And so this is opening through the front of the hip and the thighs a bit, but we're really getting more into the low belly, across the ribs. And depending on how much prop you have and exactly where it's at, you may be getting even more up into the heart and chest space or even under the shoulders. And then we want to come back to our focused breath, following the breath as it arrives in through the nose. Feel that expansion in the body. And then notice how the body releases and softens with the breath out. If there's any holding pattern in the glutes or shoulders or anywhere else, see if you can let that release as you next exhale. Three more slow, deep breaths here. And then we will slowly guide our hands in a little closer. Draw navel towards spine to support your back. Inhale, bring the hips up from the mat and guide your knees underneath your hips. You can keep them about hip distance apart. And then we're coming right back down to the forearms. And this is where you might need a little more prop, or maybe you choose no prop at all. But we are coming down to our in yoga, in our gentle yoga, this is referred to as puppy pose, but in yin, we refer to it as heart melting. So if one blanket is not enough, you're always welcome to grab another, fold it or stack it underneath your roll, whatever you might need to do there. And then arms extended, hips high. This brings the head lower than the heart and brings more of the focus into the back of the lungs and into the back of the heart. So we want to bring that mental awareness into the space of the body, the back side of the body there, and guide our breath with intention into the back of the lungs and let it release as you exhale. This is a really, really important pose, very beneficial when you're dealing with any kind of respiratory challenges. Three more slow, steady, heart opening breaths. And then as always, navel towards spine, supporting low back. As you inhale, bring the head from the floor. Ease the hands under your shoulders. Take a pause here for a moment. Check in and feel. And then we'll take a moment. You can move your props if you like to stabilize knees under hips and wrist under or slightly forward of the shoulders. And we're going to roll through the spine. So as you exhale, push the center of your spine toward the air. And as you inhale, lower the belly toward the earth. So you're rolling from tailbone through crown, coming into cat pose with that exhalation, and rolling into cow pose with your in breath. Good. And one more time, each direction. Back to neutral. And on your next exhale, take your gaze down the right side of your body, breathing into the left side. Then we'll inhale back to center and exhale, gaze down right side. And we will inhale back to center. Take your pause for your exhale. And then we're going to stretch the back of the shoulder. So walk that left hand forward. Reach the right arm up as you breathe in. Pardon me. Exhale down to the right shoulder and the right cheek. We'll keep the hips high here, or if you prefer, you can ease the knees in and come into child's pose with this twist. Just find what feels right for you. Maybe if you do want to lower the hips, you slide a blanket underneath your hips a little bit there just to give the body a place to rest and still be able to stay nice and strong in that twist. So you don't want to take the effort or how do I want to phrase that? You still want to feel the sensations in the back of the right shoulder here. So I find that when I bring my hips down, it just changes the dynamics. So you do you. Another option, if you wanted to bring the hips down, is to ease the knees away from one another and then bring the hips down. And this might keep you into that shoulder a little deeper because you're getting it's the angle for me. I don't know if I'm up on my knees in that heart melting position or if I come into a wide leg child's pose. That's where I can feel the back of the shoulder being released. But if I try to just ease the hips back from heart melting into a parallel leg child's pose, I just don't get the same release in my shoulder. So check them all out, find what feels right for you, and then come into your stillness. We have 3 more breaths here. And then navel to spine. Inhale to ease the body forward and guide the right arm out. And once it's come out, you want to move gently here. Move through that shoulder joint a little bit, maybe some circles, some forwards, backwards, side to side, just releasing the shoulder. All right. And now we're ready for second side. So inhale the left arm, exhale, thread under the right, come down onto the left shoulder and the left cheek and then come into whatever position you would like for the rest of your body. So you can stay high here, you can ease the hips back, or you can come into the wide leg child's pose and settle.
3 more breaths. And sometimes you get into a pose and you just want to stay there. Feel free to do that in our practices together. And then, because that's exactly what I want to do here right now. But since I am guiding the class, I'll inhale, easing the body back up. Take your time in your transition. Use your low belly to support your back. And once the arm is out, give it some gentle moves. But always, always honor yourself and your practice. If you're in a pose and your body just really wants to stay there, then stay there. As long as you feel safe in your body, you're welcome to remain. Take a moment in a neutral spine once you've planted both hands. And then we'll ease the body down to the sitting bones. If you happen to have a third blanket or a cushion nearby, it could be nice here. But since Miss Phoebe is using my second blanket, I am going to bring in a couple of blocks, and I'll just use the blocks on where I would show you to do with the blankets. And then also, I'm going to give you an option that you might decide you'd like to have even more support. So I'll show you as we get there. All right, so we're going to take our support right behind the heart. And if you don't have a blanket nearby, but you have yoga blocks, as long as they're not the hard ones, you could use that here as well. And then we're going to bend the knees to roll the body down. And we want our prop, whatever it is we're using, right behind the heart. There we go. Keep the knees bent as you find your low back space. And then you're going to bring the back of the head to the floor. And this is where you might like to have a couple of blankets or other props out to the side for your arms to rest on. And with blankets, I like the blankets here because you can make them as thick or thin as you need to accommodate your body's needs. And then you also are going to have the option to either keep your knees bent, let the legs extend long, or maybe you'd like to move the feet toward each other and the knees to the side for butterfly. And this is again another place you might like props. So I'm going to demonstrate with these blocks, but you could use rolled or folded blankets or pillows here as well. And this is yin, right? So we don't necessarily want to just hold the pose, unless, of course, your knees come all the way down and you're comfortable with that, then by all means. But the typical individual is going to want some kind of support under the opened knees if they're going that direction. And then arms expand to the sides or even overhead if that's a comfortable option for your shoulders. But if your arms are dangling in space, so like my left one here, then you would want to bring a prop of some kind under there so that you are fully supported and the arm is at ease and resting, right? And not a gap. So then we'll just take an option that fits where we are today in this moment. Guide the breath and awareness into the front of the heart and the front of the lungs. Feel the expansion as you breathe in. And allow the body to surrender as you exhale. Unhinge through the jaws. Swirl the tongue and let it release toward the floor of your mouth. The brow unfurrows. Shoulders and hips release. Three more breaths. Keeping the throat space open. When you are ready to exit the pose, engage low belly, draw the feet to the floor, knees will be in the air. And bring your arms in closer to the body. And then draw the chin down a little bit toward the chest. Ease your body to a side so you can come off of your prop. Move it out of the way. And then ease your body back down for a moment just to realign the spine. Take the legs long, the arms overhead. Enjoy a full body stretch. As you exhale, guide knees in, wrap the arms around if you like, maybe even lift the chin toward the chest, tight ball. Excuse me, a tight squeeze into a ball. And then release the feet to the mat, shoulders and head are down. Notice the sensations. And as you're ready, ease your body to your side and gently towards seated. No rushes here, just moving with the breath. Thank you so much for joining me for this blanket focused yin practice. I hope that it has served you well, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Until next time, namaste. Bye bye.